we are asked by every client best practices in monetizing, and certainly they want to grow their footprint, their reach, their social media following. But there has been a significant challenge in monetizing that. I'm sure you know this all too well, that 90+% of these digital dollars and the growth and spending there is going to mostly two companies, right? In Google and Facebook. Any insight or anything you can share with us about how you have taken ownership of digital rights and assets and how that turns into money for baseball?
Yeah, I mean, look, baseball has been an early adopter in technology. I mean, going back to the early 2000s, I think we felt like, baseball is uniquely suited to capitalize on information, data, technology, just in terms of the fan base and the way the game's played. And so we've always invested in that area. Look, in terms of reach and obtaining reach, I think the value proposition of our platform has always been to go after the high end fan, the fan that really loves the game and wants to devote an outsized amount of time to the product. Casual fan, even going back 10, 15 years is fine to go to Yahoo Sports or ESPN or whatever the platform would be just to grab a score, and that's enough for them. And so I don't think there's any sense in us trying to compete with that. And to your point, Google, Facebook have all entered that equation, and you can get scores and game recaps and things on those platforms as well. So, and in fact, if anything, we've taken a more liberal approach to get our content out onto those platforms because we do want to reach those casual fans and we want to reach them on the platforms that they're on. Conversely, I think we do still feel like it's really important to innovate and create new products and new ways of consuming the game on our platform. And so, as I've talked about, we've built out that new rally predictive game that's creating a sort of a gaming ecosystem for our fans. We have a new MLB film room product, which democratizes access to highlights. Maybe I'll spend a minute on that because it's a really cool story. I mean, we basically went from a world 4, 5, 6 years ago where we were very restrictive around access to highlights. It was like, hey, these are our bread and butter. This is our core content. You got to come to us to get them. And what we've done with the MLB film room is sort of flip that on its head and said, look, our fans are demanding access to our content where they want it, how they want it, when they want it. And not only that, they want user generated content. They want to create their own highlights. They don't want you to tell them what highlights they should see. They want to make their own highlights and they want to share them with their friends and they want to use it to kind of build their sense of community. And so this film room product sort of hits on all those topics. We tagged every pitch from every game going back, I think, to like 2016. So we have like something like 5 million videos in the library. And it allows you to search that catalog to a crazy level of detail. I mean, you can do the Clayton Kershaw versus Mike Trout on 1-1 counts on day games, where he hits a single and, see all the clips of that, right? I mean, it's just, you can imagine all the depth that you can get there. You can pull out video clips, create your own highlight reel. So you can string together, 3, 4, 5 different at-bats, highlights, whatever. And then you get a link to that content that you can post on any platform. There's no restriction to it. You can put it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, send a text message, an email, whatever. And we rolled that product out at the end of last season and saw a huge increase in terms of video consumption. And it just speaks to this idea that if you democratize access to your content and you give people the controls to do what they want to do with your product, you're still going to get the reach that you want. And then back on our core platform is where the high-end fans go, the ones that are making the highlight reels, the ones that are, really putting the time and energy in to consume the content and the product. They have the tools that they need to be sort of power users back on our platform. And so that's the strategy that we're focusing on, going forward, is kind of this two-pronged approach of really premium high-end content and offerings on our platform, and then democratizing access on other platforms so that, fans can get access to content where they want it and how they want it. And we've seen a lot of success, particularly with younger fans, with that mantra. And I think we're going to continue to, push that forward in the future from here.
I love that. And I particularly appreciate what a massive pivot that was, because to your point earlier, that is not where MLB was just a few years ago, right? So good for you. Good for you. Well, what else are you doing? Anything we haven't chatted about that you're doing to grow participation and fandom in baseball? I think we all know it's a challenge. It's a challenge for everybody, but I'd love for you to share a little bit more about what you are doing to grow the game.
From a technology standpoint, I think one of the big things that we're focusing on is this idea of personalization. So, really trying to move to a model where we understand who our fans are, and that's true both in the venue. So you made the point around the ballpark experience. we're trying to move from a world where any random person prints out a ticket and you show up at the ballpark and we don't know anything about you. We don't know who your favorite players are, your favorite team is. We don't know what your favorite foods are or whatever. And so it creates this sort of mediocre experience, right? Where you're used to having, your Amazons, your Googles, Facebooks, they know who you are. They know who your friends are. They know what you're interested in, and they give you what you're looking for, so it just cuts down your time and it makes your experience so much better. And so I would say that's our number one philosophical strategy on digital is move towards a world of personalization. So who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player? What type of content are you interested in? And how do you bring that content to life in a way that's compelling and meaningful for avid baseball fans? And that's, you're going to start to see that manifest itself in our app, where you'll get recommended news content or other highlights or information about your favorite teams. But then in the longer run, I mean, you can imagine a world where this starts to plug into the media ecosystem. And so instead of, a product where you have to kind of subscribe and sign up to a package of, I get these teams or this out of market package or, this types of content, you're just a subscriber. It's like a one price subscription. We know who you are. We know your favorite teams are. And when you want to watch baseball, you just come to the platform and you kind of hit play, right? And, I want to watch baseball tonight. It knows, that you're a Yankees fan, and so it'll put the Yankees game on first for you. And if that game goes to commercial break and it knows that you're a big NL West fan or you like the Dodgers, because they won the World Series last year, it'll flip you over to their at bat with the bases loaded and it'll show you that at bat. And then it'll take you to, a player who's about to hit for the cycle, or something like that. And a really, interesting milestone. It'll just take you around the world of baseball, based on who you are and what you're interested in, rather than just come to the platform, pick the game you want to watch, let it sit there for 3 hours, watch the game, and then you're done for the night. So that's just an illustration of the type of engagement that we're really focusing on and emphasizing with our products as a way to unlock, the next generation of consumption. And I think you'll start to see more and more of that stuff emerge over time.